What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. You know, I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have Stephen Kite Jr. Who's Stephen Kite Jr.? Well, you're going to find out in the next few minutes, so stick around. You don't want to miss that. You don't. Good dude. This week's shows. This week, good week. I got 3 shows, 2 public shows that you're invited to. Two, count them, 2. On Thursday night, starting back at the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas. The Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. The family-friendly Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. They got great barbecue food in Russellville, Arkansas at the Old Post. And they got frosty beverages for the adults. So if you want to imbibe, you can do that at the Old Post. But you know, I'll keep the background music family friendly. And anybody who's doing the singing with the karaoke jam, you got to sing songs that are family friendly. We'll keep it G, maybe slightly PG, but nothing crazy, okay? Your grandma might be there, okay? All right? So keep it cool. No, I'm so stoked to be at the Old Post Barbecue Thursday night in Russellville, Arkansas from 6 to 9. Be there. And then on Friday night, my regular Friday night gig at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Friday night, 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. Now, this one is over 21. Drink responsibly. Now, they have a full bar, kitchen's open, pool tables. There's a pool tournament on Friday night. So if you want to try to make some money playing pool, I encourage you to check out the Rab, Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, Friday night from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. And then on Saturday, I have a wedding. You're not invited unless you're invited. The only reason I mention it is because I'm excited. Weddings are back, baby. I've been having weddings almost every Saturday night for the last month or so. And I got them all booked up, coming up all the way up into the next year. I'm stoked. I'm so happy that I get to do weddings. And other kinds of parties, too. I haven't booked any corporate events. I guess they haven't really delved into that since we're breaking out of the coronavirus quarantine. But weddings, you know, we're keeping each other safe. I have my little barrier with my DJ booth that I make. So, I make sure the dance floor is good. Now, I'm not even sure here in Arkansas if we even have to wear masks. Wear them if you feel like you should. I mean, I know it's gotten political to where the governor and the politicians have said, don't wear a mask if you don't want to. And you know what that did? That put it on the store owners and the service workers to put the mask on, because the scientists are saying, no, you can't take the mask off yet. There's still a virus out there. Not everybody's vaccinated yet. My goodness. I don't know. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Just take care of each other. Use common sense. I think I'll wear a mask. If the store says wear a mask, I'll wear a mask. I'm not going to fight. Come on. All right. I think that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Stephen Kite Jr. of Touch of Heaven Entertainment. Yeah, that's a little hint. Skyping Stephen Kite Jr. now. There he is.
Yep, how's it going?
What's up? Stephen Kite Jr. in the house. KeysDAN at your service. How's your day?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Well, tell me a story about you, man. I'm so excited to
Um,
be talking to you. I've been watching your videos. I've been following you on YouTube a little bit and checking out. Really, I've checked out the SoundCloud. You're multi-talented, man. But I want you to tell the people who you are. Who is a Stephen Kite Jr. of Touch of Heaven Entertainment?
well, Stephen Kite Jr. is pretty much what you see is what you get. I'm a single dad of three. Um, Pretty much, I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and without Him, I'm nothing. So that's pretty much me. I've started Touch of Heaven Entertainment, which is my record label and talent agency, basically to give back to those that may not have that chance in the entertainment industry. Um, Pretty much is what I'm doing. It's just trying to help others fulfill their dreams.
Man, and that's what you do. Coming out of North Carolina, are you primarily based out of North Carolina, or do you handle people from all over the world through this internet thing we have?
I'm currently based mostly out of North Carolina. I do have a couple talents outside of North Carolina, but as of right now, it's mostly North Carolina based. But looking to expand here soon, hopefully.
Well, you said you're a daddy of three, a single dad of three. That's an odd thing. I mean, I had a single mom, and I knew a lot of kids that had single moms. But being a single dad, how did that happen?
Well, I was married for 15 years. Her and I married young, and as we got older, we kind of grew apart, and we kind of had different ideas of where our lives should be. She was at the time she wasn't in a very stable situation, and I basically took the responsibility that a father should and took care of my kids.
That's fantastic, man. It's unusual. It does happen, but it's unusual to have the man. Usually, the courts will favor the woman for the most part, because moms, hey, call me old fashioned, call me what you will. Moms are the ones that take care of the babies, but you've taken that responsibility.
I was raised by a single mom, so yeah, I understand that completely. And I support all single parents out there, whether it be dads or moms. And the moms that step up and take that role that a father should be doing, I commend them completely, because that's a role that's, as a single parent, I've learned that that's a role that's very hard to balance between being the fatherly role and the motherly role. Just not easy.
No, and how old are the kids? Are they able to take care of themselves somewhat, or are you having to?
Well, now they're old enough too. I've been doing the single parent thing for about 5 years now. So I started basically single parenting when my oldest was 14. My oldest is now not 19, and my youngest just turned 18, and my daughter's 16. So it's been fun.
I suspect so, but at least you had. Well, okay. Well, I'm sad that relationships break up, but kids are resilient. And it seems like you've been doing a good job. You feel like you're handling it?
Oh yeah, I'm handling it well. Like I said, it's trial and error. It's something that there's no manual for. Nobody taught you how to do this from the beginning, and no parent goes into becoming a parent with the intentions of being a single parent. So it's definitely an interesting thing to learn how on the go. And I've learned as a single parent that it takes a village to raise a child. So I didn't do it all alone. I've had help along the way, whether it be my church family or even family members. I've had some major help. So
it's good that you got a team, Steve Kite Jr. Now, is it Steve or Steven?
It's Steve. I go by Steve. It's actually Steven, but I go by Steve most of the time.
Okay, all right. I like the full name though. I mean, I'm known as KeysDAN, but anybody that knows me calls me Daniel for the most part, except my mom. She calls me Danny. I don't know why. She just always has nicknames, I guess. Children of the '70s. But funny you mentioned, parenting and such. The kids they don't come with a book of instructions. I guess back in the '70s, they used to give you the manual by Dr. Spock, and you would read this manual and go, "This isn't helping me at all." Or you'd get the Bible and you'd go, "Huh, there's something in here somewhere about parenting, but I don't know if it's really going to help me that much, but I'll read it. I'll read it. I'll take it into consideration.
Oh yeah.
And you being a man of the church, I mean, I grew up, in several different church situations, trying to find the truth and finding my way in that way. But and I've read the Bible several times, and I guess if you raise your children the way that the Bible teaches you, I suppose. I know in the Old Testament there was a whole lot of smiting. It seemed like God was a very vengeful God, and then Jesus came around in the New Testament, and there was a lot more love in that. What do you think about that?
Basically, well, in the beginning, God was he was a disciplinarian. He pretty much tried to keep and guide everyone the right way. And Jesus came and offered grace to those that enact and basically stand in for us to take that discipline from God in our place. So that's pretty much where it stands there. That's why now today Jesus took all that wrath and blame of what we've done. So it's pretty much all about grace right now.
Well, I know that's part of your jam, Steve. It's the touch of heaven entertainment. It's all in the name. Obviously, well, I mean, it's not obviously. Did you always grow up? Are you from North Carolina, and did you always grow up in the church?
Well, I was pretty much raised in the church. Yes, I did step away from it for a period of time in my teenage years. I did the rebellion thing where I didn't think that I needed God or needed anybody really. Thought I could do it all on my own. So I rebelled and I did what I needed to do. But as most people, this world can humble you quickly and make you realize that you can't do it all alone. And I turned to God, and that's where I've been ever since. I basically went back to my roots.
It's not something that's not very uncommon for teenagers to take a little time off. I mean, even the Amish, famously, they have a rumspringer, where the kids leave the church for a while, go out in the world, and see if it's something for them. But for the most part, they come back. They do. as strict. Well, and I've never been Amish, and I've really never had that many many dealings with the Amish. I mean, I'm on the internet all the time, and I don't think there's any Amish on the internet at all. I think that's part of their jam too. But I've never. But from what I understand, is even though they send them out into the world, the kids, they send them out into the world and let them have that 1 year of fun in secular activity. Most of them come back to the life that they've known, a very strict life with God. But I mean, you choose. The life, the path. Hopefully, it's a good path that you take care of each other. I guess that golden rule, is the main thing you need to remember. And what is that golden rule?
Doing to others as you would have others do unto you.
Yeah, but what if you're a masochist? I've always thought of that. What if you like being having pain put to you? I don't want somebody doing that to me.
But if you are a masochist, you enjoy the pain, so you wouldn't have a problem with someone doing that to you.
I guess.
So I guess it kind of works.
All right. I kid. But growing up born and raised in North Carolina. What part?
I was born in North Carolina, in the Kinston, North Carolina area. I grew up though mostly in Dover, Delaware, because my parents divorced when I was 6. So I went north with my mom during the winter and back down south to North Carolina in the summertime. So with my dad.
That's an American family, man. My parents divorced when I guess I was a baby, either before I was born or just after I was born. So, and my dealings with my dad, I guess I met up with him every once in a while. He would come and pick me up on his motorcycle or one of the used cars. He was a used car salesman. So he would pick me up in a different car every so often, maybe every 6 months or every year, until I was preteen, and then I didn't see much of them. But that happens, and that's the way life is. But you had a single mom. What did your mom do? What did you learn from your single mom about work and about life?
Well, I learned a lot from my mom. I learned about strength and perseverance, and doing what you have to do for your children, regardless of what it costs you. I've watched my mom work 40, 50 hours a week in a restaurant as a dishwasher when I was a kid. Coming home tired, still coming home cleaning the house and making things, making dinner, providing for us to make sure we had shoes on our feet, clothes on our backs. So I learned a lot from her perseverance and her strength.
Well, you say us. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have two other brothers that were with me when I was a kid. I've got another younger brother by my dad and my stepmom. So,
Older or younger?
Pardon?
Older or younger?
I've got one older brother and two younger brothers.
Do you take care of each other?
Always got to.
Did
It's
you
all
beat
about
each other
family.
up? Because I know I had a little brother, and I used to beat up on him until he got bigger than me, and then I was like, "Oh, guess I can't beat up on him anymore."
Oh yeah, we had our fights growing up. We were definitely, my mom had her hands full with it when it came to us. We were always going at each other one way or the other, whether it be over fighting over girls or just disagreements on what we sports teams or whatever. We had our fair share of fights, but in the end, we love each other and we're family. So that's all that matters.
Country living or city living?
Combination of both.
Okay.
I live in North Carolina. It's more of a country setting where I'm at. But up north, I was in the city of Dover, so it's kind of more of a city lifestyle there. So
What do you
got a
prefer?
little bit of both.
What do you prefer?
I kind of like in between. I want to be right in the middle of both. I want to be close enough to the city that I can get there, but yeah, have my quiet time in the country when I need to.
You know what's funny is I've been a DJ since '86, and you would never know it from my house because I keep it quiet. You'll never hear music blaring out of my house. Oh, that guy next door, he's a DJ. Yeah, you would never know it, man. So yeah, I like it quiet at my house. I'm wearing headphones right now, and most of the time when I'm listening to music or watching my television, I'll keep it low, or I'll wear headphones. I don't want to bother anybody. But yeah, I guess I live out in the country, but close enough to the city to where if there's events, hey, we can put on a show and some people will show up. And I guess that's where you're at, right? Now,
Exactly, that's where I'm at. I'm close enough to the city that I can go to an event if I need to, or when I'm at home, I can chill and relax, and I have to worry about the hustle and bustle of the city life.
well, you were telling me that you were fighting with your brothers about sports and girls and stuff. Well, tell me about your school life. Did you excel in school? Did you do some sports, or were the girls in the way?
Uh, I did well in school. I pretty much, I mean, I wasn't at the top of my class, but I wasn't at the bottom of my class in high school. I played football in high school, so I definitely was a jock. So I I didn't consider myself one of the most popular guys, but I wasn't one of the most unpopular guys in school either. So kind of in the middle. Of course, I did have sometimes with girls got in the way of other things like dreams and goals, and I had to have some stern talking to by coaches and stuff to tell me, hey, you may want to let her go. She's blocking your path of where you need to be. So I value those coaches that stepped in and said, hey, you got to straighten up, man, because you have a future, but you ain't getting there if you keep letting her block your dream. So.
You're giving the people gems, Steve Kite. Let's see, what is it? Mickey said to Rocky, "Women weaken legs."
Exactly.
And what was the other thing? Oh, and what I always tell the little kids, I go, "Girls are yucky until you're 30. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school." But what was your favorite subject when you were in high school? What were you into?
I was more of a history guy in school. I liked learning about the history of, especially of the U.S. Not really on world history, but mostly on our country and what valued there. Basically, because I believe that history teaches us what not to do in the future. We learn from our mistakes, and that's what history is. It's a combination of our successes and our mistakes combined. So.
Yeah, I think there was one, learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself. I love that. I love that line. It's a beautiful thing, man. But history is definitely one thing that my brother and I used to really gel with, like World War II history and building model planes. I think I used to build like Hellcats and Spitfires and then hang them up all over the room. That's what little boys do build models and get out in the dirt and go mess around. But you played ball, you played football. Was it only football or other sports too?
I also wrestled in high school. So I pretty much, I mean, I was good at what I did, and I excelled when I do whatever I do. I try to excel at. I don't do it halfway, so it's always the top for me or nothing else. So
This is
just
all
how I've
built.
always
Yeah.
lived my life.
This is all building a person, man. This is all building Stephen Kite Jr. And you say Stephen Kite Jr. What did you learn from Stephen Kite Sr. from your dad?
Well, for my dad, also perseverance, and I learned that my dad was an ex-military, so he served in the army. I learned a lot from that patriotism and serving, giving of oneself and serving your country, and the value of that. I also learned from him about God and what a father's supposed to do as a godly man. So,
Did your dad ever see any combat? I mean, I appreciate his service for sure. I mean, and I think that people are telling me not to say thank you for your service, rather than there's another. I don't know, this whole PC world that we're living in. They keep changing the terms on me. Don't say thank you for your service. Say something else. I can't remember what it was.
my dad never saw combat. My dad served during peacetime, which was fortunate for us because he didn't have to worry about dying in a war or getting injured or anything. So that was a blessing in itself. But as I'm also a veteran myself, I served in the Air Force Reserve. So, me personally as a veteran, and when I talk to veterans, I thank them for their service. I don't do PC stuff because they sacrifice and they serve our country. So they deserve a thank you for their service, not necessarily whatever PC term that's come out today.
Well, thank you for your service, Stephen Kite Jr. What did you learn in the Air Force?
Discipline and pretty much patriotism and the value of our country and the value of our freedom. There's a lot of countries out there that don't have the freedoms we have. So,
yeah, my brother was in the Navy for 4 or 6 years, and he said if he ever re-upped, he would go in the Air Force. I hear they treat you better. Have you found that, or have you heard that?
I've heard that. I've got friends of mine that served in the Marine Corps. I've got friends of mine that served in the Army, and I've had ones that served in the Navy, and they all say that they've heard that the Air Force treats their people better. As an ex-Air Force, I'd say we were treated very well. So I can't say that the other branches treat you any different because I've never served in those branches. My dad said the Army was a great branch, so I can't complain about either.
Well, what kind of job did you do in the Army? I mean, the Air Force.
I was a vehicle maintenance specialist.
Learning how to fix cars, is that what it is?
Pretty much that, and repairs to jets or whatever. So whatever vehicle needed maintenance, we worked on it.
That is fantastic. Do you do that in the real world? Did you get out and become a mechanic?
I attempted to, but it's not something I wanted to do full time. So that's why I chose the entertainment business instead. So.
Your hands aren't as dirty. I know in my 20s, I was a firefighter and I was a pipe fitter, and I worked at True Value and I cut steel, so I got my hands dirty and I got real rough. That's what you do in your 20s. And I guess I was DJing since 86, on and off here and there on radio. But let me tell you, getting out, and it's my, even when I'm doing hard work, I'll make sure I wear gloves because I want to keep my hands soft. My wife likes it that way, But you learned vehicle maintenance, but all through your life you've been learning how to help people and how to be a good person, in one way or another. Whether your mom's teaching you through her hard work, or whether your dad's teaching you through discipline and what he learned in the armed forces, or what you taught yourself, or what you learned yourself in church and also in the Air Force as well. When did you develop the aptitude for wanting to promote other people or doing entertainment? Because you're also a singer too, right?
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm also an artist myself. And basically what happened was several years ago, right before my first son was born, I had the opportunity that possibly to perform in front of some of the record executives in Raleigh, North Carolina, at a showcase that they were doing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make that show because travel, transportation stuff happened, and I was a father or a husband and soon to be father. So my son came along and we had extra tickets for the thing, but not enough for other people to go. So I chose not to take that opportunity and regretted it because I felt that, but I didn't. So when I decided to create the label Touch of Heaven, I decided my goal was to help other people achieve the dream that I couldn't do because of personal circumstances and family stuff that happened. So I wanted to make sure that I would be able to put them out there and get them their dreams because it was something that's been on my heart that other people that with the labels in this industry, especially in the music industry, they have a certain set way they think people should be. And I believe everyone has some sort of talent, whether it be musically or even in, acting, modeling, whatever. It's all talent. And I believe that everyone should have their opportunity to perform regardless of what the cookie cutter mold of what the industry thinks.
Well, I mean, you sacrificed yourself. You sacrificed yourself for your children, and that's a noble thing. That's a good thing to do. I have an artist that I know pretty close to me here in Arkansas, Brenda McCready, I think is what she goes by, and I think it was over 20 years ago. She had the chance to open for Reba McEntire, but she ended up having a baby, and she blew that chance. And then years and years later, now the child is grown and even married now, and she's trying to restart her career. And I can see that, man. It's never too late, but we do things for our children. And I'm glad you did that, man. You raised your kids. For the most part, they're pretty much raised. I mean, you said the youngest one's in their teens already, so they're almost heading out. But when did you start singing, and did you ever get a chance to at least do a talent show at school or something?
I've been singing pretty much since I was a kid. I grew up singing in my church. I acted in church dramas. I did acting in school. So I did a lot of singing in my church, especially in front of crowds. And I was always asked when I came down to North Carolina to my dad's church, I always asked to sing in front of them. So singing's always been something I've been, I guess, pretty much good at. So it was a passion of mine, so I did it.
Hey, a lot of the greats started off in church. What's your favorite hymn or church song?
Ironically, it's not really a hymn. It's actually a Christian contemporary song by Ray Boltz called "Thank You."
Hum a few bars, man, or sing a little bit of it.
I'm not sure if I can today because I've got sinus issues today, but basically the song is thanking those that gave to Christ in either ministry or basically leading people to Christ. It's a very powerful message behind the song, and basically it's a song I grew up. My youth pastor actually performed it. The first time I ever heard it was by him, and I fell in love with the song, and I've performed it several times myself in different churches. So
that's a beautiful thing, man. You said youth pastor. That's somebody that was guiding you as a young man growing up, and you heard this song and it touched you, man. That's wonderful. Were you always going to church? Was mom and dad taking you to church when you were a kid?
Well, when I was a kid, my mom didn't attend church very often because, like I said, she was working as a dishwasher at a family restaurant. So her schedule didn't always allow her time to go to church. But she always made sure we got that. Me and my brothers always went to church. Sunday morning, we were up bright and early to go to church. Sunday morning, mom made sure of that. My dad made sure when we came down here to North Carolina, we went to church. If the church doors were open, we were there. My parents were firm believers that their children should be in church and at least have that faith base.
That's pretty cool, man. What's your favorite scripture, I guess? I'm putting you on the spot.
My favorite scripture is Isaiah 40:31. I believe it's 31. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah. But it's basically actually, I could probably look it up.
Yeah, hit me with it, man. Yeah, I wouldn't want you to misquote God.
No, don't misquote him. That's for sure.
He might go back to Old Testament and smite you. I wouldn't want to be smited, but I
No,
kid.
me neither.
I'm kidding, God. I'm kidding. But no, man, I'm enjoying chit chatting with you and finding out more about you and the Touch of Heaven Entertainment as we go into the Bible. We say Jeremiah,
It's actually Isaiah.
Isaiah 40.
Let me see if I can find it. They don't. I have a Bible app, and it doesn't always do what I want it to do.
We go to the app.
Yep.
See if we can even talk to text it. Who'll get it first? Isaiah 40:31. It says,
It goes, but those who wait for the Lord will gain new strength and renew their power. They will lift up their wings like eagles. They will run and not become weary. They will walk and not grow tired.
wow, what does that mean to you, man?
Basically, it's all about perseverance. It's all about God's strength and grace to provide for us throughout our issues. No matter what we go through, God's always there to provide us and keep us strong and keep us going through. So
It seems like that word perseverance is a through line through your whole life. Is whatever hardships, whatever's put in your way, you go through it. You persevere. What examples do you have? Any stories of perseverance in your life?
oh yeah, I go back to several different things, but pretty much throughout my adult life as a single parent, you have to persevere. There's times there's hard times and there's struggles that you go through that for your kids you got to make sure that they see strength and not weakness, because kids are kids. If you show weakness and you show that things are not going well, they're gonna worry, and that's the last thing you want for a parent is for your kid to be worried about something and just depriving them of their childhood. I'm a firm believer that every child should have a decent childhood, and it's not always the best of circumstances, but my children have always known that I've been there for them, and I will always be there for them. So, pretty much, like I said, as a parent, you persevere for your children and make sure that they know what strength really is.
Well, you say 5 years ago or so, your marriage broke up, and she wasn't in the state of mind to take care of the children. Is she doing okay?
She's doing well now. She's moved on. She's in Pennsylvania now, and she's doing well. She's getting back on track. She's starting to have more of a relationship with the kids now. It was just a hard time for her, a bad period of time she went through, and I pretty much stood by my kids to make sure that they had that one solid security that they needed.
Well, that's good. Now, when you're, what kind of work are you doing when you're not doing the entertainment stuff, or is this what you've been doing full time? When you got out of school, when you got out of the Air Force, you had to get a job, or did you say, look, let me go into the entertainment? What's your course from there?
Well, what I did from after the Air Force was I pretty much took any retail job, any kind of sales job I could take, anything to pay the bills, the 9 to 5, where I've done it all. And over the last 3 years, I've actually spent working full time in the entertainment industry. So
Fantastic.
It's just been anything to be people related. I learned a lot from being a salesperson, working with people in retail. Learning what people's personalities are like and how to deal with people. A lot of people say that retail you don't really deal with people, or you don't learn really much from it. But I think retail sales, if you take a job, like a regular job, retail is probably the best strength testing thing you could ever go through. You deal with a lot of different types of people, and it teaches you people skills that you've never known.
Yeah, but the thing about working for somebody else is you have that insurance. I've kept an insurance job almost my whole life. I think there was only a few years where I delved straight into only DJing. That's all I'm doing. But I didn't have any insurance for those 8 years. I think it was from 2000 to 2008 or something like that, where I was just going nonstop, DJing. I guess I worked on the radio a little bit. They didn't give me any insurance, and then I worked DJing at night at different clubs and weddings and parties. They didn't give me any insurance. So if you get sick and because, you have children, how do you take care of them insurance wise? I mean, because that's like a thing in this country. Anybody that's listening to this outside of the USA are thinking insurance. The government pays for our insurance. We got that covered. That's fine. We pay taxes and the insurance is covered. No, not in America. We have to take care of our own health care. Oh my goodness. I know this is going to be grim. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it was about the health care in America, and there was a guy that was passing away, and his last words was, he said, we're going to give you a procedure so we could save your life. How am I going to pay for it? And that's so sad that we have to think about that, as we're circling the drain, as we're dying, but all right. But you took a bet on yourself. Are you able to make enough money in the entertainment business to where you're able to take care of everything?
Well, I saved a lot prior to starting my own business. I put money back to provide for my kids to make sure of this situation. So I provide based on my savings and the knowledge I knew that going into this industry was going to be not an easy thing, but at the same time, I had to plan for my kids and make sure they were stable. So I planned well ahead before I took the endeavor.
Yeah, sometimes the hustle is fun, though. Let me tell you, when I gave up my Joe jobs, I was working. I was a firefighter. I was a EMT at a hospital. Working in the emergency room, working with the helicopters in Miami, and I'd chucked it all and said, nope, I'm going to be a full-time DJ. But, you're like, oh, hey, I know it's Monday night, but do you want me to play some music for you? You can get a job on the weekends, Thursday, Friday into Saturday, but those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, maybe I guess you spend that. I was spending them booking those parties for the weekends and hopefully making enough on the weekends. But it was always a hustle, and I guess that's where you're at right now. You're in the hustle with your Touch of Heaven Entertainment. So how are you hustling? Who are you singing on your own? And I saw that you were taking care of a few other artists, so you could definitely give shout outs to the people that you're helping and the people that have helped you along the way, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, right now I'm basically focusing on one major artist at the moment. Her name's Tammy Jo. She is originally from South Carolina, and we just recently released her first two singles. One's entitled "Sexy Is," and the other one's called "Kiss and Make Up." And they're available on all your streaming platforms. And we pretty much that's what I'm doing right now. I'm basically focusing on getting her album out, which is hopefully we're shooting for June for the album, hopefully. But I've also signed Tammy Jo's son, Kyle Daniels. I've signed him, and we're working on his first two singles here soon. So that's where we're at the moment, and that's what we're doing. That's what I'm basically featured on right now. Is my focus is just on that. I'm also working on a possible personal album myself, but that's more of a spare time thing than it is a full-time project.
Well, are you writing songs? Are you playing instruments at all?
I write songs. I write lyrics. I don't write songs. I do put music to songs by using Apple loops and stuff like that. But as far as playing instruments, I'm learning the guitar. So it's a slow process, but it's something I'm working on.
Well, that's fantastic, man. And you got Tammy Jo, and you got, was it Kyle
Kyle Daniels.
Kyle Daniels, or that's 2 generations that you're helping out. That's fantastic, man. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, is helping each other out. I enjoy having these conversations with folks because everybody's has a story, and everybody came from somewhere, man. So Steve Kite Jr., you definitely came from somewhere. So brag on the kids. How are they? How are they turning out? The 19-year-old and all the way down.
They're doing well. My 19-year-old right now is at Midwest Preparatory Academy in just outside Chicago, Illinois right now. He's basically there doing some college football prep. About to start, hopefully by next season, he'll be actually at a 4-year D1 school. This was basically just, he didn't get the D1 offers we wanted, so we took another level to get him to the next level. And then my youngest son, once he graduates, he'll be joining the Air Force Reserves. So he's headed to San Antonio once he graduates to serve our country. And my daughter, her ultimate goal once she graduates is also to serve in the Air Force. So I'll have 2 in the Air Force and hopefully one day being on a pro football field.
Well, it looks like you were very instrumental, man. You were very influential on the children. They're taking after their old man. And that's what, it looks like they're excelling too, man. That's what we want from our kids. We want them to be better than we are. You went to a certain level with your Air Force and your footballing, and it seems like they're going on to this other level, and that's fantastic, man. That's what we want from our kids. It sounds like you're doing a good job, man. And you're taking, all right, what kind of music is Tammy Jo doing? Because I couldn't find her songs. I know that you had on your YouTube page, you had a little like an advertisement for the Tammy Jo that you were taking care of her. But what kind of music is it?
Tammy Jo is actually a country music artist. So is Kyle. They're both country music artists. Tammy Jo, actually find her song on YouTube, Sexy Is. You actually got to type in Tammy Jo Sexy Is in order to find it. Because
I'm kind of afraid to do that. I might end up with the wrong video.
Yeah. There's a Tammy Jo out there that who actually was a part of a group that actually is doing did a solo thing for a little bit, and my artist actually, YouTube kind of confuses the two, so you pretty much have to put the song in and then her. So but you can pretty much find her on Spotify too. She's out there. In fact, I do think, I'm not sure if I did, but I do believe on my YouTube channel under the Touch of Heaven videos, her latest single to Sexy is in that video, is in the group of videos there. I'm not sure if I actually have that there or not.
Okay, I think I found her YouTube page, Tammy Jo, J-O, Sexy Is, Turn the Page magazine, and it's there's an official lyric video there. That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
That's her.
There's another that turned my head. There's another guy in designer jeans. Oh, okay, all right. I'm gonna have to take a listen to that one, and I'm gonna enjoy it myself. I have my own online radio station, so I get to play a lot of new artists and tweet them out, and whenever I play them on RadioWhat.com. Shameless plug. I guess I just did it. So now who's recording these people? Do you have your own recording studio, or is that something that you're thinking about? I was watching one of your videos that you might be doing it. You might be getting into that.
Actually, I'm actually recording at home. I record in my home studio. The song "Sexy Is" and "Kiss and Makeup" were recorded right here in my house.
That's fantastic, man. What kind of gear are you using?
Right now, I'm just using my MacBook Pro and an Audio Technica mic. Is pretty much what I use, along with Logic and Pro Tools.
Yeah, you're letting the people know, man. For under $1,000, you can make yourself a pretty decent demo and send it out to the world. Now, when you were singing, when you were making your music, did you ever get approached by a record label and here, sign on the dotted line? Did you ever get into that?
Unfortunately, the only thing the labels have ever done for me was to offer me a chance to perform at the showcase. that they were doing in Raleigh at the time. As far as getting an offer to sign a deal, never got one.
Okay.
But it is what it is, and apparently God had bigger and better things for me. And being my own music producer and my own label, I think it's a little bit better than working for another label. So
You got that right, Stephen Kite Jr. Now, what kind of skills did you learn as far as being a promoter, a record producer? I'm not even sure what Touch of Heaven Entertainment's bullet points are. What can you offer the artists?
Well, Touch of Heaven Entertainment is basically a full record label and talent agency. I don't just promote artists. I also promote models and actors and actresses. I'm a full entertainment service company, pretty much. My main goal right now, what I'm focused on at the moment, yes, is producing music and putting it out there. But at the same time, if I find a talent that is an actress or can be a great model, I'll gladly help them in their careers too. So it's pretty much a one-stop shop in the entertainment world.
Now I can see how you can mix those things together too. While Tammy Joe or Daniel is sitting up there singing on stage, you can put a model up there dancing, or maybe have a spokesmodel, have them and do the introductions. You can really mix all that stuff up together. Have you ever put on a show with your people, or have you ever thought of that?
I've thought of that. Tammy Joe and I actually are working on hopefully her tour coming right after we release the album. We're working on the tour. I'm lining up some other talent to tour with us, and have some models out there to basically show off merchandise that we have that for Tammy Joe. So it's definitely in the works.
Yeah, over the years, I've worked with several different entertainers. When I was firefighting, funny enough, I was firefighting and I was DJing, but in the firefighting down in the Florida Keys, I was working with models that were doing like bikini contests for Hawaiian Tropic. And because I was in the fire department, they said, hey, all you guys in the fire department, why don't you be the judges? And one of you guys, you could be the oilers. And I said, what? And here I am. I'm barely 21 years old. Yeah, I'll oil. I'll do that. No, but, hey, boys, right? Boys. Get those thoughts out of your mind. But no, helping people out, and it's not just girl models. There's boy models. There's all kinds of different models and different aspects. Have you done any? What have you done with the models? There was a time when I wanted to make a calendar. I mean, I was in a firefighter calendar. It didn't go anywhere. I don't think we sold one, but well, reckless youth. But I mean, that's one thing, is you can make a Touch of Heaven Entertainment calendar with your models and your singers. That's a thought. But what can you do with a model?
Well, with a model, pretty much currently it's mainly fashion, and models actually can be used in a lot of different areas. Even models now are even becoming actresses that because they cross over to the acting world also. So when I hire a model, I don't hire just someone that's just good looking and just wants to strut their stuff across the runway. I also look at their other talents to see if they can sing, if they can act, if they can memorize lines or even talk to someone and hold a decent conversation. Because modeling actually entails a whole lot more than what people think it does.
Do you know what's funny with technology? The teleprompters. People are doing movies and using teleprompters. The set designers will hide screens all over the set, and they're even doing it on Broadway. I think that's a cheat, man. You're supposed to memorize all your lines. But here, I'm looking into this table, and there's a teleprompter right on that table, and you're like, hey, cheater. But hey, man, you do what you have to do. I don't think I can memorize all those lines. I'm a talking head. I'm a reader. I think a teleprompter would definitely do well for me. My acting is definitely not even as skilled as yours. I think I did a school play when I was a kid, but you were doing plays in church, and you were singing in church too. A lot of people start off in church, man, and they make decent careers afterwards. You get your chops in church, and you move on from there. But what about Tammy Joe? Where did she? How did you get a hold of Tammy Joe, or how did she get a hold of you?
I placed an ad on Facebook looking for artists, and she answered the ad. And I happened to see her perform on her Facebook page of a karaoke thing that she was doing, and I was like, she's interesting. Got to talk to her. Got to find out what I can do to get her signed to the label. And as they say, the rest is history. She signed a couple months after that. So.
Well, that's fantastic, man. It's nice. It's nice that you're starting this and you're helping other artists. I mean, when you first started, was it to help yourself? Was it to help? I mean, because most of the time you got to take care of yourself, and then if you can, hey, take care of somebody else. But did you start this primarily to get your music career underway, or what did you?
When I first enrolled in the LA Film School music production class that I took, or course I took, when I first enrolled in that, my goal was to produce my own music and to get my career started. And as I progressed into the course and learned more about music production, I was like, well, I not only can help myself, but I can help others in the process of doing the same thing I'm doing. So then I totally turn toward basically, if my career takes off, it takes off. If not, I'm going to help others to get to where they need to be.
Well, you did get some skills to pay the bills. I didn't even ask if you went to school for production or music or anything like that. What kind of school did you do?
I went to the Los Angeles Film School got my associates in music production there. I also got my Bachelor's of Science in Entertainment Business Management through the Los Angeles Film School.
Did you actually have to go to LA, or was it something that you could do online?
I did mine online. They do have an actual campus in LA that you can go to, but they also offer online. So it's kind of a versatile school. So
you can learn anything. You can learn anything online. I went to Connecticut Schools of Broadcasting in Miami, and it was an actual school that you went to. It just happened to be that was the umbrella. And then I guess in '86 I went to a Piper High School down in Fort Lauderdale. They had a radio station, a working radio station to work out. So it's good, man. Now you're teaching the kids. Stay in school, learn your skills. What do you think that you gained some good knowledge out of that, or was it something that you probably could have learned on your own on YouTube?
I think I actually learned more. I have YouTube some stuff that I didn't learn in school, but I did learn a lot from a lot of the industry professionals that actually are professors there. In fact, one of the professors, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he worked with artists like Beyonce and Jay-Z and all them. So I learned a lot from how he approached his career when it came to working with artists. So I got to say, school helps. I mean, I can't say YouTube gives you some technique, but it doesn't give you the background experience that the professors may have.
So you got a good jumping off point. That gave you an idea of where to go and how to gain more knowledge. Well, that's fantastic, man. And so what are you doing? What are you doing with how do people get a hold of you as we wind this thing down? How do people get a hold of you if they want to learn more about the record business or the modeling business?
They can look me up on Facebook, Stephen C. Kite Jr., or they can look up Touch of Heaven Entertainment. You can Google it. I'm available. It has my website. It has my pretty much my Facebook page and everything. That's pretty much how people contact me. Mostly it's through Facebook or even Instagram. I'm on Instagram also.
Yeah, I noticed you have a pretty simple website. I mean, it has all the social media there. It's TOHE007.wixsite.com and then TOH Entertainment
Correct.
But I'll definitely put all that in the show notes so people find out more about that. I mean, anybody you need to thank, any shout outs you need to give for people that have helped you along the way. I mean, with the kids, even while you're having to go off to work. I mean, do you have family and friends that have helped you along the way?
Well, of course, I got to first thank God because he made everything possible. I want to basically thank my mom, my dad, my kids. They are my strength. They give me everything that I need every day. Without them to drive me to be a better man, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. And basically, all my friends and family and coworkers and my church family that have pretty much kept me on the straight and narrow and kept me where I needed to be.
Very cool. I just realized you haven't been able to see me the whole time, but now you can. No, I have two different cameras on this thing. So one camera is the one that I'm using for the broadcast software, and the other camera, for some reason, that's the one that stays on Skype. Odd. But anyway, I digress. For the people that are listening to the audio, I encourage you to check out the video version so you can see Steven's pretty face right next to me. Stephen Kite Jr. From Touch of Heaven Entertainment. So where do you want this to go in the next 5 years? What's your plan? What's your goal?
My ultimate goal in the next 5 years is to basically have as many artists out there as possible that pretty much have fulfilled their dreams. Whether it be acting, modeling, music, whatever they want to do. And also, I want to hopefully in the next 5 years have this not just here in North Carolina, but nationwide.
Well, you're on your way, man. Where's Tammy Jo based out of?
Tammy Jo actually lives in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
So have you actually worked with her and met her in person?
I've met her in person. She's actually come to my home, and we worked from the home studio.
Right there in the home studio, man. You said you recorded right there, and you recorded Kyle, her son's stuff as well.
We're about to record his. We haven't recorded it yet. We've just secured the license to do the 2 songs that he wants to do to start out with, and we're gonna go from there.
Are they writing their own songs, or you said that Kyle had to license his song from somebody else?
Well, the first 2 songs that Tammy Jo has done, we've licensed the material. We've got them from other songwriters, which is one of the best ways. But Tammy Jo does write herself, so she's got a few songs that will come out in future albums that are hers.
I like that. I like that a lot, man. Just keep pushing forward, and and are you still what kind of church do you go to? Because I remember I was watching one of your videos. What church do you recommend?
If you're in the Kinston, North Carolina area, I recommend Faith Fellowship. It's a non-denominational church, so anyone's welcome. Just stop by. I guarantee you'll get blessed.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do they have a band?
We have a great choir, and we have a great music minister. So it's always something to bless your soul.
That's the one thing I guess I don't go to church nearly enough, and one thing that I really enjoy is the fellowship and the getting that spiritual food, man. I guess that's one thing that I really enjoy is getting that just I guess the beating on the head. Hey, remember to be a good person. Remember to be a good person. Help somebody, and that's what you're doing, Stephen Kite Jr. I appreciate you coming on the show and telling me a few things. But any other avenues you want to explore or you want to tell people about?
Well, eventually, like I said, I've got an older son who's going the sports path. I'm about to start on the endeavor of getting my master in sports management. So it's something that in order to be his agent, I've got to have for the NFL. So I'm not going to let anybody else represent him but me because I know I have his best interests at heart. So
keep moving forward. What was that movie? Oh, my goodness. There was one. Oh, was it? It wasn't Jerry Maguire. It was one. Was it Waterboy? I don't remember. Anyway, it was one movie, and his dad was the one that was representing him, and the son was a quarterback, but he was behaving like a jerk, and the dad just whipped him. He just whipped him back into shape, only a dad can do, and that's that's what I imagine you're going to be doing, is making sure that he stays on the straight and narrow, because for a sports. Anybody that plays sports, especially a footballer, your body takes a wear and tear. Over the years, I've worked on sports radio, even though I don't know too much about sports. But here in Little Rock, Arkansas, I got the pleasure of working with quite a few athletes and former athletes that have turned into announcers, and they had a lot of wear and tear on their bodies. Their shelf life. For a football player can be very short. So whatever money you make, you got to make sure that you invest it properly, and that's what you're going to learn in school, I'm sure, and help your boy be all that he can be. Hey, wait, that's the Army. What's the Air Force? Aim high, right?
Aim high. Yep.
Yeah. All right, my man. Well, shoot, I've had a good conversation with you, and I appreciate that you coming on, man. I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. As things progress, if you have other things that you want to promote in time, I want you to feel free to call me and come back on. But usually I finish these things off with last words for the people. Stephen Kite Jr. of Touch of Heaven Entertainment. You can give some words to live by, something that you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Stephen Kite Jr., last words for the people.
Well, basically what I tell my children, always believe in yourself and always keep your dreams high.
Well, there you have it, party people. Stephen Kite Jr., Touch of Heaven Entertainment. Yeah, we're on the ground floor, baby. This is going to skyrocket. The man's got skills. He actually went to school for this, to learn. And if he needs to learn something else, he'll go back to school and learn more. I think that man is here to help other people. He can help himself, but help other people as well along the way. So stoked. Thank you so much, Stephen Kite Jr., for being on the show. I appreciate you telling a little bit of your story and what you can do for the folks that are just trying to make it. Use their talents, their God-given talents to, maybe make a living. I mean, what better way to make a living than doing something you love? What was it that I heard somebody say was, if you do something if you work doing something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I know I'm paraphrasing and I'm probably butchering that whole thing, but you get the sentiment. You get it. You get me. You get me. Oh, I'm so stoked. Oh, so thank you, Stephen Kite Jr., Touch of Heaven Entertainment. Look it up. It's the links are in the show notes below. Check it out. Okay. All right. Remember, Thursday night, I'm at the Old Post Barbecue, Russellville, Arkansas, 6 to 9. Video dance party, karaoke jam. Friday night, I'm at the Rab, Conway, Arkansas, 8 p.m. till 12:30 in the AM. You're the star of the show. Karaoke time. All right. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. If you, yes, you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.